Count down. Seconds are going. Well, it just turned 6 o'clock. It's the final. We'll stand for the pledge, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lisa Lane. Here. Rachel Smith. Here. Jody Downsbaugh. Here. Louise Easta. Here. Rick Tolles. Here. Mark France. Here.
We have approval of our minutes for the regular meeting held on July 14th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the bills from our regularly scheduled meeting held on
Minutes.
Minutes from our meeting held on July 14th, 2025.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of our meeting on July 14th, 2025. If there are no questions, we'll accept them as presented. We have approval of our minutes for the special meeting held on July 21st at the fire department township building to discuss the pool in the township.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the special session held on July 21st, 2025.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for acceptance of the minutes for the July 21st meeting. Are there any questions on that? If not, they be passed as presented. By the way, it did pass at the township building as well. Only being so very court. Yes, sir.
Well, as some of you probably already gathered, the town hall committee is in the process of getting bids for curtains after the painting is done. We already have contacted 3 different companies. We are asking each one to give us 2 to 3 bids, so that should give us 6 to 9 different bids. We're concerned about room darkening, historically accurate, and obviously don't break the bank. We're nowhere near to present any sort of budget or any request from council at this time. Basically, I would like for the committee to narrow it down to 1 or 2, see how we can come up with financing and maybe see how you guys can possibly help us with it and go from there.
The colors helped you tonight immensely, it sounded like.
We're making headway.
Okay, good.
We are learning a lot. We are making headway. They are coming up with a lot of thoughts that we didn't even think of. So, but again, that's their expertise. So,
Sure, certainly.
and we even forgot about the one big window above the balcony.
Oh, yeah.
Howdy.
Is that a round window?
Yes, and you pull the shade back, it's ugly. Maybe a good cleaning would help it, but.
Talking about where the bell rope is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree it's ugly?
Yeah, we were ringing the bell for the rally thing, and
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, wow.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gray?
Yeah, I just wanted to give thanks to Chad and Jeremy for the help with the Rapids Rally weekend. Angie Studer and I were uptown working on something related to that, and they actually approached us and said, what can we do what do you guys need from us for the weekend? And they promptly took care of those items, so that definitely was one less thing we had to worry about. We appreciate their cooperation. So I just wanted to mention that on the record. And I saw many of the council members out there to one or more of the events throughout the weekend, so hope you guys had a good time.
Yes, thank you.
I know I did.
Good.
We'll go back to the bills. I kind of skipped over them myself. We have the bills from July 11th through July 24th for total is $8,236.71.
Mayor, I will make a motion to approve the bills dated July 11th through July 24th, 2025, in the amount of $8,236.71.
I'll second. Question on the attorney's fees for $1,050. What are those for?
Oh, let's see, same thing they've been for that same company for the litigation on the property west of the town hall.
And I have asked for public records on the total invoices and have not seen that yet. Crystal, do you know when I'll get those?
I believe John mentioned that at one of our meetings.
I told you at the last meeting.
You said it was approximately $34,000. What I've asked for is the public records, which is the invoices for all the fees related to the litigation.
I don't recall you asking for that.
Not
but
I
okay.
didn't hear that either.
And then we have $1,128.98 for Tyler Tech. Is that the software fee?
Current software. Yeah, usually they bill annually, but I asked for half a year since hopefully we will be using them by that time.
Okay.
If there's no other questions, I'll proceed with the vote.
Jody Dunsbach.
Yes.
Louise Eastuck.
Yes.
Rick Tolz.
Yes.
Martha France.
Yes.
Lynn Sylvain.
No.
Rachel Smith.
Yes.
Motion passes for July 11th through July 24th bills. Anybody want to ask the deputy anything while we're here? He's here.
That's always a good thing.
Way to put him on the spot.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate all you do too.
Thank you.
Just being here. I really don't have a whole lot. It's just, I hope we're all bearing down with the extreme heat we have and hope that people can stay cool and drink a lot of water because it's not given up yet for a few days. It's going to cool down next week, I guess, and hopefully it doesn't harm anybody. Let's see, Chad, we'll move on with your report, please.
Okay, I'm working on getting a couple more quotes for the tennis courts / basketball courts. I got one in from Rudder Dudley. It's almost $25,000 for them to take 1.5 inches off and then go back over it. To do the whole thing, remove it all and replace is $43,530. I do have some pictures from Sportscapes. This one is with the basketball courts, pickleball courts, and the tennis court. It's pretty much all the same pictures. This one is just the basketball and the pickleball courts. He hasn't given me a price on those yet. I asked him for one, he hasn't got back to me. Like I said, I got a couple more companies. One I think's come out here Tuesday or Wednesday to give me another quote on the concrete, and another company hasn't got back to me yet. And for the painting of the town hall, they're supposed to be starting this week. He told me last week, but then he's trying to finish everything up so he can just get in here and get it done. So hopefully this week they'll get started. And then the water hauler thing out at the office, the car reader's not working. We got a hold of a company, they're coming out, they ordered the part. Hopefully it's here this week. We're having a lot of issues and it's a pain in the butt because we have to start it ourselves, so someone has to be in the office for them all the time to do that. So on the weekends when a lot of people come, we can't do that for them, so hopefully we get the part in this week. Other than that, I really don't have anything. I know Lynn asked about my plans for the canal. What I'm thinking, which is just me, I would like to do what the park did on the south side up to probably the boat docks with the the bigger rocks, and on the north side probably go down past the boat ramps with them, and then continue on with just probably with the trees and stuff's there now, and maybe some native shrubs and native grasses, which I have a list of. But for the time being, I like to just clear back a little bit, keep the trail open, just spray some weeds, cut back the underbrush, just keep it open for now. Maybe try to get some grants for the river rock to get put in there. I'd look into that.
What's your timing on that?
For keeping it cut back.
No, to revitalize the canal, the riprap you talked about.
I'm gonna try to get prices on it. Like I said, maybe look to try to get in some grants to see if we can do something like that, 'cause it's probably not gonna be very cheap.
Okay. And as far as spraying the chemicals, have you verified that they can be sprayed next to a waterway?
Right now I was using, what is that, vinegar, salt, dish soap, and water for closer to the water areas. And that seems to be, it works not as good as regular spray, but it's working. So we're gonna keep using that.
That's what you use behind the town hall?
Mm-hmm. And on the West Street ditches.
And as far as the native plants, do you have a report from that gentleman you met with?
I told you I got some of what he told me. Native shrubs are black, chickberry, northern bush, honeysuckle, serviceberry, redbud, coralberry, black haw, nannyberry. Native grasses, he just gave me big blue stem and little blue stem. And for the trees, which I really don't want to put more trees there, because it's something we'll have to take care of later on, is just hickory, sycamore, and some red oak. So that's kind of what he told me.
Has he been out to see the
No,
canal?
I asked him if he could come out, and he said if he makes it out this way, he'll give me a call.
So there's a group that's interested in meeting with him. If we bring him out here, are you interested?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you on repairing the wire behind my house?
It's all automated, so I don't really, every time I call, I don't talk to anyone, and I put a number in, and it's not for like a low wire, it's for not like service being out or something. If you want, I can come cut it. I mean, is that, you have internet at your place for a phone line of that? And I can cut it and then bring it down and wrap it around the pole and tape it on there, get it out of the way. If that's something you let me do. Pardon me?
I just need it corrected.
So I can get on your property and cut it down? I mean, if it's not in use, I mean, that's what they're probably gonna do anyways.
Let's talk after this.
Chad, I was wondering if the herring shaw man got a hold of you about,
I sent him an email, or I actually left him a voicemail, and I haven't heard back from him yet either. I can send him, or call him again, or send him a text. I take text in my email, so I don't know why he hasn't got back to me.
okay. You could clear down along the edges of the canal on both sides, and you said
Yeah.
he's gonna give us a quote on it if we could. And he's got a small enough machine that can walk along there and cut the stuff down.
Okay.
So it's not going way out. Okay. Crystal?
I brought a mobile food truck application that was received in the mail today at the office. This is for the Apple Water Fest, and it's on the corner of Wappa and 2nd Street. I was going to make a suggestion for these. I'm gonna assume we're gonna get a lot of these. So these are all on private property. So I was gonna suggest, I gave you our food truck policy and kind of made an edit, which I highlighted in there. For the village administrator, to process permits for private property, and then for village council to process the permits for public property. So that way, it doesn't take as long to go through the permitting process. It's just a suggestion.
And he does that currently with the other permits too.
For like zoning?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Do we need a motion or anything to make that change, or?
What change? It's in our.
Just in the policy, the part that you see that's highlighted on there,
Yes.
that's what I added. Because it used to just say council, so I crossed that off and then added that 2 sentences.
That makes sense. Is the first one?
For Apple Water Fest, yes.
I'd like to say something real quick. The alleyway that everybody's using as a bypass, which is fine, and we have a fence along there. We're in the process of getting it cleaned up, painted up, and turned into a pollinator garden. So if the city could be so kind as not to kill it the minute we start planting it, it would be nice. Okay, there's that. And and thank you for talking about pickleball, because I'm looking forward to that. That's all.
Is it the fence on your west side of the property there?
West, where the
Yeah,
alleyway
the
is.
west.
Okay, the paved alley right there?
Yeah.
Okay,
the
yeah, I
alley.
won't spray anything.
Yeah, just don't spray it.
I gotta fix it fast.
So we don't need that.
We can go now.
Yeah, I guess I'll leave that up to you. If you want to, if you're okay with what I changed, then I would say then we would just let the administrator process it. Okay, that's fine.
So I still think we have a fundamental problem with issuing permits for private properties. And that the policy should be written for village property.
We issue permits for private property now. So I don't see this as any different.
Okay? You can't enforce it.
I don't know why you're looking right at me, Lynn, but okay.
Because you wrote it.
And we all approved it.
No, we didn't all.
Okay. The majority approved it.
That's all.
On the reports of standing committees.
Okay, so since we've been talking about pickleball, the Buildings and Parks and Properties and Maintenance Committee met on July 15th to discuss projects for the upcoming parks grants. We've applied for those in the past. We've kind of, we picked one for each tier. There's tiers at different levels. And we reviewed, previous comments that we've received from the residents as well as from council members. And what we decided was to just kind of go all in on the redesign and resurfacing of the existing tennis ball and basketball courts to make it just a combined court. So it would include basketball, tennis, and pickleball. So hopefully we can get the larger of the tier approved at least, so that we can apply those funds and have that resurfaced. So that's what Chad has agreed to obtain quotes so that we can start putting that to application. So my recommendation, or the committee's recommendation, is that the council approve the village administrator to obtain quotes and apply for grant funding for the following, which would be Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 for court redesign and resurfacing.
What's the difference between those tiers?
It's listed at the top. Tier 1 is up to $5,000, Tier 2 is 6 to 10, and Tier 3 is anything above 10,000.
But it's all for the redesign of those courts, so is there a list that at 5,000 you get these 5 things done, and at tier 2 you get?
No, this is just for the application process. We have to apply and see what we get and what we apply.
Excuse me.
If we get anything.
If we get anything.
So if that was a motion, I'll second that.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second for proceeding with Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 grants for Chad to proceed with. We'll move forward with the vote.
Lucy Step.
Yes.
Rick Tolz.
Yes.
Martha France.
Yes.
Lynn Sylvain.
Yes.
Rachel Smith.
Yes.
Jody Donspot.
Yes. And just for clarification's sake, in the past, we've applied for different projects for each tier, which is how we obtain the bike racks. We've gotten playground mulch, but we've never been granted the highest tier. So we figured if we kind of went all in for this court resurfacing, then maybe we stand a chance of getting any and all.
That'd be nice.
And then the Finance Wages Audit Committee met following the Parks and Buildings Committee meeting on Tuesday, July 15th at 6 o'clock. I had announced earlier that we were going to look at the pay ordinances. Currently, they're working off of several different pay ordinances. Some of them go back as far as 1996. So trying to combine that all into one, and maybe not even having a pay ordinance, but a pay band, so that new hires can get hired in between this and this, and then current hires can go up to this amount. That's kind of what I'm used to, is a pay band, and then yearly, a percentage would be approved, a cost of living percentage would be approved. So I did gather information from the villages of Weston, Haskins, Pontagony, and the fiscal officer provided information from Liberty Center. And then I did a couple spreadsheets that are listed on here that has those current wages. And then I did a proposed salary schedule based on our current ordinances and the wages that I gathered.
Which side is the proposed?
The salary schedule on the second side. The first side says Weston, Haskins. That's not what I'm proposing. I'm proposing the other side.
So on the first.
And it's just a pay schedule.
On the first side where you list the different towns or villages, it says Grand Rapids Council, $66 per meeting. Then off to the right it says $30 per meeting. What is that?
There are some council members, I was told prior to me getting onto council, there was a motion that was made that 2 of the council members, because of how you can't grant yourself a raise while in office, so there's 2 people who get $30 per meeting for committee meetings that they attend.
Who is that?
I think the people that are getting re-elected is Martha, myself, you, and Jody, so it'll be Rachel and Rick.
I say we get 2 of them.
What do you got to do?
Dude, I was here with you guys the whole time.
Rachel
They're
and
probably
Rick
parked
get
behind
paid
me,
for
too.
committee meetings.
I'll let them leave first.
And the rest of the council does not.
Correct, because we can't give ourselves raises while in office, so it just fell that way. Their terms were up and they were re-elected when this happened. I guess it happened a year after they were re-elected. So it didn't affect any of the other sitting council people that didn't run that year.
When did that, the ordinance, it was created before Rick and I were re-elected. And so it didn't take effect for us until.
Right, until you were re-elected,
Yeah.
right. And your re-election was before the other 4.
Right.
Just like on the back, I am recommending that council get a raise and the mayor get a raise. That will not happen until people get re-elected. So the mayor would not get this raise until the mayor is re-elected. And then the 2 seats that get elected with the mayor wouldn't get the raises until they're re-elected, and then the other 4. It's just how it's staggered.
That's how it's staggered, and that's so current officials can't.
You can't vote yourself
a pay raise.
So the mayor currently is at $1,562 and you're proposing $6,000. But on the right-hand side, it's got $2,800, an additional $2,800. What is that for?
I don't know.
Is that the Grand Rapids side?
What is it that he currently gets?
It'd be the first one.
This one here. I'm sorry, Lynn, I don't know. That might have been that might be an error.
And council's currently at 66, 62, and you're recommending it up to 70. The president of the council, that's Rachel, you're calling her out special.
Well, that's because there was, in gathering the information, there are some, at least 1 or maybe 2 cities or villages that do that. Because they do have to sit in as mayor when the mayor is not here. And they do hold the other special meetings as well. And the pay ordinance for the mayor, the council, and the solicitor has not been changed since 1996. So I don't think that's a whole lot to ask. And
she's not calling me out special, but it's
no,
just.
it's just
It
that
would be
position.
whoever the
You
council.
hold that position today.
Correct, but I wouldn't see this.
She wouldn't get that because she doesn't. She's not.
So,
She can't be granted
Yeah.
herself a raise. That's
No.
just how it is. And these are just ranges, and what I am proposing is that the solicitor then takes this and makes it into an ordinance that covers all the other ordinances that we're doing, and then this would be our ordinance. And then it wouldn't have pay rates, you know, like increases. That would be something that council would do yearly. It wouldn't be, that way we're not saying for the next 3 years, this is what they're gonna get. We don't know what the economy's gonna be. We could be over or under giving them cost of living.
And the solicitor you have at 5,000 minimum, 9,000 max, and he's currently at 7,500, is that true? And do we have any idea how many hours per year he works for us?
He's not hourly, so
It's not our room.
Maybe have billable hours though.
he hasn't billed any billable hours.
So he just gets 7,500. If he works an hour or he works 1,000 hours.
He works more than an hour.
Yes.
He does look at all of the stuff, and he did also look over the food truck policy, and he blessed that when, you know, for the private and public. So it's not something that council or myself came up with. It was backed by our solicitor.
And the $75 per hour regarding litigation, that's on top of his base salary?
Right, and he's never billed any of that thus far.
I do believe that's for court.
And the fiscal officer, the range is $21 to $40 per hour, and where are we today? Is that hourly rate?
Oh, just give me a minute, I have that here.
Can you do the same for the village administrator, please?
Sure. Fiscal officer currently $26.78 an hour. Village administrator $27.58 an hour.
And the seasonal labor we just hired, the range is 12 to 20, and I think you said he was 15.75, is that right?
15, something there.
15 even? 15 even? Okay.
So if you're okay with changing the way that we handle our pay ordinances and combining them all into one versus going back, one of them refers back to 8616, which is 1986-50. And I just think that that's a lot to ask, and that's a lot for the, you know, for the auditors when they come in. They have to try and track all that and prove that Crystal's doing what she's supposed to do. I just think it's time to just clean that up myself.
And looking forward.
And looking forward, right. And we wouldn't have to do anything with this ordinance until, or if, you know, somebody starts to get to the maximum. You know, I'm an employee that previously I hit the max and I stayed there. You know, there was no cost of living. There was no, you know, that would be up to council at that time if they want to then expand that maximum. So with that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we have the village solicitor take this minimum and maximum, take our old ordinances and combine them into an ordinance, and more like a pay schedule ordinance. That would give us more than 3 readings so that we could have it done in time for the end of the year.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to have a solicitor look the salary schedule over and get it set up to where we could have our 3 readings by the end of the year and
Creating an ordinance.
creating an ordinance for it.
Is this table part of the ordinance?
Yes, it would be.
Okay.
Yes,
So we'll
absolutely.
we'll correct the 2,800 that's on?
No, that table is not. The table that has Grand Rapids Weston, it's the other side that it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the minimums and the maximums is the table that would be embedded into that ordinance. At least that's my view of
That was
it.
the collective
Yeah.
data from other villages.
Yes, right. The other was just collected to see if we were in the ballpark for the other positions, and we weren't. We weren't for the council and mayor. Solicitor, we were. So we didn't make any recommendation changes there. We just added a minimum and a maximum for the solicitor.
Any questions, we'll proceed with the vote.
Rick Tolz,
Yes.
Martha France.
Yes.
Lynn Sylvain.
Yes.
Rachel Smith.
Yes.
Jody Donson.
Yes.
Susie Step.
Yes.
Motion passes. The first reading is Resolution 2025-04. It's a resolution amending the appropriation ordinance. It's a resolution amending the appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Grand Rapids, State of Ohio during the period beginning January 1st, 25 and ending December 31st, 2025. It's adding a line item for advertising to be created and read as follows. Advertising. That's the first reading.
Clarification on this. So it says it's a resolution amending appropriation 2025-1. That's the appropriations, and this is the ordinance 04 to amend that? Is that the right way to read that?
Yes.
And the $4,000 wasn't currently carved out. Is that to address the chamber request, or not at all? Not at all.
That's where it could be taken out of. Yes, our solicitor said we needed to have a line item so that we could have trackable. So this is the first step that we need to do.
Okay, and how did we just come upon $4,000?
I think it was based on the money that was available.
So we didn't do any comparison to other villages, or
On what they advertised for?
their budget? Yeah.
We did reach out to a few, only some got back, and they don't advertise for the chamber.
They don't
But we're
advertise
waiting-
for their community.
Right, for the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, we're not advertising for the chamber, we're
Well,
advertising for
right.
the community.
My apologies. But we're still waiting on two others.
Okay.
We asked, so.
So 4,000 was what you had left in the general fund?
No, 4,000 was, I don't know, wasn't that the amount that was kind of suggested?
It was 5,000,
Yeah, I thought it was 5.
It was, I thought it was 3,400, so I just rounded up.
And you're taking this out of the general fund?
This is the general fund.
Okay, it's a
Yes.
line item under the general fund?
Yes.
Okay. So the general fund, in how many line items do we have calling out specifics like advertising?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Well, they all have it. They all have a.
So
If you
it's
look at your appropriations, they all have a name.
It's all listed.
It's
So the
not
tree
that
cutting we
ordinance.
did for 33,000, was that out of the general fund?
Yep.
Yes.
And there was a line item for 33,000?
There was a line item to, do land improvements, yes.
Do you remember how much it was?
The total appropriation,
For, where the 33,000 came out of, that line item?
50?
right here.
I was thinking it was 50.
Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is, 50.
Yeah, I was thinking it was 50,000.
So it then goes on to say that, so section 1 is to carve out $4,000, which was your understanding of what was requested. The total general fund appropriation is $577,000. And it goes on to section 3 and says, therefore, the appropriation shall be $2.69 million.
The total.
So it just adds, we took the original total, added 4,000 to each. So we totaled the general fund, totaled the all appropriations.
Okay, so you didn't move money from one account to another, you just added 4,000.
Correct, yep. Just added the new line item, which is not added until approved. So
Well, if they asked for 5, I don't think 4 is enough. But I appreciate the fact that you're calling out a line for advertising. So it's at least something we can call out year over year.
Lynn, they did ask for 5, but when I talked with the other entity, the Historical Society, They weren't under the understanding that anyone was giving 5. They were under the understanding that,
3,000 or something.
yeah, I got it. I have a note, 3,000.
3,600 was the.
No, it wasn't 3,600. $3,380 is what they thought. So when you take the 5,000, if the village gave 5,000 out of the 10,140, then that leaves 5,140. And if the Historical Society gives 3,380, then there's 1,760 left. Is that what the Chamber and Art Council together is giving? Or do we know what numbers they're giving, or?
I heard the same numbers you did during this meeting.
Okay, so the math, that's what I'm saying, the math didn't work out for me. So, I mean, if you take the 10,140 and you divide it by 3, excluding the Arts Council, that's the 3,380. So I'm not sure where the 5,000 came. That's where I was trying to come up with that number at that last meeting. And so I reached out to some of these other organizations, and they're like, what do you mean 5,000? No. So
Yeah, they were very confused.
and so then, you know, I reached out to some communities, and they said, no, we don't do advertising. We don't give the chamber money. So whether the village decides to do that or not, you know, that's up to us. But I thought I'd see what other people are doing.
Yeah, I got a call from the Historical Society too. He said, we never said anything about 5,000. It was split between the 3. Possibly the Arts Council would kick in, but never change it. But he said, never said 5,000. Never.
Okay.
And I am still waiting to hear back from 4 communities. So we'll see what they come back with. Maybe they do, you know, maybe they also do as well. I don't know.
Okay, we have the third reading, ordinance 2025-2. An ordinance to request the auditor to assess lots and lands of the village of Grand Rapids for the lighting of streets, alleys, ways, and other public places. And that we need a motion
And
on
this is one that we do
every year.
every year, so I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-2, an ordinance to request the auditor to assess lots and lands of the village of Grand Rapids for the lighting of streets, alleys, ways, and other public places.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second for passage of ordinance 2025-2, an ordinance to request the auditor to assess lots, lands of the village of Grand Rapids for the lighting of streets, alleys, ways, and other public places. Proceed to the vote.
Martha France?
Yes.
Lisa Wayne?
Yes.
Rachel Smith?
Yes.
Joy Donspot?
Yes.
Louise Easton?
Yes.
Rick Tolz?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-2 passes. We have unfinished business.
I want to talk about the lease that was signed last week. I didn't feel like there was a lot of information given to us in order to make that commitment on behalf of the taxpayers. And I guess I'm just wondering why we got ourselves down to the 11th hour. When I think Louise pointed out that we actually had a copy of the lease on a Tuesday,
No, it was Thursday.
originally Tuesday.
Thursday.
And then why didn't we meet Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday so that we weren't up against the clock?
I think that was over Rapids Rally.
And we were waiting on the township to see what their availability was. And we were waiting, because we received it on Thursday, so we were waiting for the township and the village to have availability to meet. And the township, they were gonna wait 2 weeks, because they were under the impression that they had to wait that long for a special meeting. And I said, no, 24-hour notice is what you need to give. So it was a matter of their solicitor and our solicitor getting on the same page.
And that took
That
several
took
months.
Several months.
So you guys knew about it for several months?
It's been at the township meeting. Rick and I have been attending the township meetings, yes.
It wasn't brought in front of the council.
I actually think members of the pool board came and addressed
Yes,
council.
they did, in March.
Several months.
Yeah, so they came 3 years ago and
No,
said.
in March.
No, they just came in March.
Take a breath. They came 3 years ago and said, we don't have enough money to keep operating the way we are, and we have to do something different. I think my disappointment over the way that was handled is, one, there was no time for anybody to ask any questions or react. Matter of fact, Jody didn't ask any questions, Rick didn't, Martha didn't. I want to know, that number that was thrown out, that if just the Grand Rapids had the levy, it'd be double. There's nothing to support that. There are no facts and data to support that. I wanted to know what they're going to do with the money. There was no list of the improvements that they're going to make. I wanted the rules of use defined. I run a few properties. I've never rented a property and defined the terms of use after the fact, which is what we're doing.
We're just doing the.
And then I looked at the rates of taxation and the number of pools. So in Wood County, there's actually 4 public pools: Perrysburg, Pemberville, Grand Rapids, and Bowling Green. The tax rates, I just don't know if it's a viable project. As much as everybody would like the pool, I don't know what the viability is.
That's why it's going to the taxpayers.
Yes,
That's
so
why it's going to the residents.
Can I answer that real quick?
Could have done a better job and presented information to say.
I can answer that for you really quick. I think for the last several years, I think at one point they had collection jars around town, help save the pool. It's been a virtual money pit, and a lot of that is volunteer efforts that's going in to keep
all of it
it.
is
It is
volunteer.
all, yes. It is just keeping it going. They know that they've maybe got 3 years on it. So I think the plan to put it out to the taxpayers is, everybody says save the pool, save the pool, save the pool, but is that what they really want? Are people willing to put forth an investment to help keep it running, and if it allows, to build a new one? So this is to see, are people going to help us? If not, we have to look at how we're going to go about shutting it down. It's not a threat. I think this is just the reality. The pool is 60 years old, and it's been band-aided for so long that this is really, is the village and the townships, are they willing to help contribute to keep it around? That's what,
I get that.
but again, this was the first step, and it was a necessary step to be able
3
to
years
put it
ago
on the
it
ballot.
was.
No,
And here's my thing. Are we gonna pass a levy that's gonna put a Band-Aid on there, only to find out 3 years from now, we can't afford a $2 to $5 million levy?
Monica said at that meeting that if this levy passes, they will come up with a plan within the next 3 years to lay out a new pool, how much it's going to cost, what it's going to be for the residents, the whole 9 yards. All that meeting was, Lynn, the other night, was the village we used to lease to the pool board. Now we're leasing to the township so that the township can put that levy on the ballot. We can't put the levy on the ballot, the pool board can't put it on, so it's just a matter of us changing the lease from the pool board to the township. That's all that was. It wasn't anything to come up with, contracts.
No.
That's next. That's what the attorneys will work on next together. It took long enough to get this lease ironed out between the two of them. So, if the levy passes, or hopefully when the levy passes, they will have all of that laid out for the residents to
Who
know.
carries insurance on that land?
On the land?
Pool and the
Yeah.
community does.
The village does? The village has got it covered?
The pool has insurance on the pool,
Right.
and the village has insurance
On
on
the
the rest of the 4
surrounding. The pool is only just that spot right there. They don't have anything else. Then the village has the rest. And that's who has the insurance. And
So the
some,
township will not carry any liability on this lease?
On the
They
pool.
currently
On the
have
pool it
possession
will.
of the pool.
The
Pardon me?
pool
They
doesn't
currently
own.
have possession of the pool. That lease is active.
Yeah, it is active.
if the levy passes.
if not, it's a void.
Right.
Yeah, at
It's
that time
active
it'll be
today, though.
determined, but there's a gray area because there's.
I believe that there's a date on it too that said like January 1 of 2026, so I don't think it's effective today.
Okay, that was my conversation on the pool. I do have some other unfinished business. We talked about the towpath, wiring, public records. I have a ton of public records requests out there, Crystal, that simply aren't answered, or if you're sitting on them, I'm not aware of it. So,
Okay, don't start like that, because you know that there's records available at the office for you.
I don't have any notification from you telling me public records are available.
And when you were in the office last, I got the stack out, put it right in front of you, opened up one of the emails, and you read it, and the year was 2023. And then you decided to leave.
I've asked for to
So I
give
don't know what you want.
notification of when public records are available. That's what I've asked for. So, the legal fees, one we talked about, goals. I've asked for my goals to be published. They're not being published. So I've been reading them one at a time. So today, I'm gonna read the safety and welfare. Safety and welfare, address the food insecurity issues in the village with community garden or chickens. Develop an emergency response protocol for the village, include a shelter, availability and awareness, smoke alarm availability, water supply, elder care. Develop a flood protocol, address the children's school readiness, develop college grants for local residents, look for additional social services that can be brought into the village, and/or look to provide effective communication about what is available. I've got at least 2 or 3 more to read, so I'll continue to do those. Dora, at the last meeting, you said you would hold a meeting within the next 30 days.
Can't
We're
take
past
them
that
anywhere.
mark.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get the Buildings and Parks Committee together between vacations and other issues, so yes, I will get it scheduled.
When?
I don't have a date, Lynn, we have to check everybody's availability.
So, okay. Before the next meeting, can you make that?
We'll see.
Benches. I've given 2 proposals on benches. One is for Dunright to build them, and the other is to duplicate the ones that we have in Lincoln Park. I handed out a map of where they would go, but honestly, I just want the approval to purchase the benches, and my recommendation would be to let the chamber place them where they want, but there are 16 indicated on this map.
And I thought you were gonna give us a breakdown of where they were, because I had asked for that.
That's what that is.
Right, but some of those 6 feet will not fit, because we went down and measured as well.
So all the green areas are for the benches. Again, Louise, so that,
And you said you were gonna share who wanted them and who didn't, because there are some other businesses that didn't want them.
all the businesses that I talked to, that I had that list, they all wanted them. They were all willing to replace the bench that they had. Most of them, like Pizzanella's has like a specialty ice cream, which one she said she would move it to the side. Cottage on the River said they would move theirs. So we have the majority of people saying they need the benches. I don't want to get into, I think it belongs in front of this store versus this. I would like to buy 16 benches and give them to the chamber and let the chamber place them. That would be my recommendation. So is the council in favor of purchasing benches for downtown?
What cost are you looking at?
$16,000.
1,000 apiece.
Yeah.
16,000 apiece?
No, she said 16,000.
1,000 apiece.
Oh, 1,000 apiece, okay.
I was hoping you were gonna share the information that you had gathered, because I had asked for that.
I have already shared this.
No, you did not. You just held it up, Lynn.
What more do you need, Louise?
I sent you an email and I asked you for the data, and you said you wouldn't give it to me.
Tell me what specifically you need so I can address your needs.
You said you went down and you talked with each business owner, you measured. I'd like that information.
I didn't measure. I didn't say I measured. I talked to the businesses and I asked them if they wanted the 6-foot benches and if they wanted Dora. That's what I had. So
these are all 6 foot? Because
Yes.
I know we measured and 6 foot doesn't fit in some places.
I don't have them in front of all the stores, and you were given this map.
No, I was not given that.
No, we weren't, and we asked for it.
So, you need this map?
I would like it emailed,
I don't even
please.
think I came up with 16 or
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so you don't want the map.
I would like an email, please.
I will give it to Crystal, and Crystal can email it to you.
That'd be great,
Okay.
thank you.
Will it be color like that too, so we can see what's what?
Pardon me?
Will it be color like that too?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to her just like this. And she's gonna scan it, and then she can distribute it to you guys.
And the color indicates what's what on there?
Green says where the benches go, red says that they can't, and blue is where Dora is recommended. Actual seating spaces.
Say that again, green is where you
Green
want.
is where the benches would go, red is where they can't go for a variety of reasons, like the porch extends onto the sidewalk or some other structural reason.
Okay.
And blue is where I was proposing Dora seating.
And they all sit back against the buildings.
No, they don't. I don't care if they go against the back of the building or the curb. I want to let the chamber decide that. The businesses were specific in that they do not want them attached to the sidewalk because they sweep around the benches.
For cleaning.
Yeah, for cleaning.
And I had thought that you wanted some continuity down there and that these benches were gonna replace what was there. Okay, well, I heard you say like the ice cream place is gonna move stuff and they're gonna,
On the main street, it'll all be the same benches. If she, I'm not gonna tell her she can't have her ice cream bench, but she's gonna move it to the side.
And you said you were gonna have Dunright fabricate these?
No, that was your option number one, which
Okay.
my preference would be to have Dunright make them, but the council in general is more in favor of the Lincoln Street.
Like composite?
Yes.
Recycle.
Mm-hmm.
So you need a copy of this. Okay. That's all I have for unfinished business. I have some new business. If anybody have any unfinished business?
Any unfinished business or unfinished?
no, I did mine all at the last meeting.
So two things on our new business. One, I'd like to see a kayak launch put in here over by the docks. They run about $2,300. I'll provide Crystal a picture. She can distribute it. But what it does is it allows the kayak to kind of pull in underneath it, and then it's got an overhead bar that you can lift yourself out. Way safer than people trying to navigate the ramp down there. And the last new business that I have is that I want to propose a different structure to the Grand Rapids government. It is unusual for a village our size to have 6 council members. So I've been looking at what would be a more common structure. So we are a council-led government. That means the council is making all the governance for the village, and the mayor follows our direction. I want to maintain that we're a council-led government, but I do want to change it from 6 people to 5. I also want the fiscal officer to be a elected office. It is commonly an elected office. There was an ordinance passed years ago to make it, to assign her that position. There is reasons to have it as there are reasons to have it as an elected office, including transparency of government, bringing in new skill sets, and so I think it'd be really helpful to the village. And then I'd also like to do away with the village administrator's job and have a village manager, someone that is charged with working with all of the committees, falls in line with really the strategy that I had written on the village that I haven't been able to present yet, but also along the lines of what Joe was talking about, that we really need more collaboration here. And if we hired a professional, someone with a college degree in urban planning or something like that, business administration, I think it would help this village a lot. So that is my proposal, is to change the government structure, making the fiscal officer an elected position, eliminating the village administrator, hiring a village manager, and making the council from a 6-member to a 5-member council. Any comments or questions about
Yeah,
that?
I will totally
Hi.
disagree on the fiscal officer.
Yes,
As
because,
someone who used to help with that position, it was inherited by somebody that may or may not have known what they were doing. And to get somebody that's elected, that's just popular vote, doesn't mean that they're actually qualified. And I don't think that's in the best interest of any village or township to do an elected position. Because you can elect anybody and maybe they don't even know how to do their own checkbook.
right.
So I don't think that's,
The Wood County, or
100%. I just don't
the
think
village of, the Grand Rapids Township is an elected fiscal officer.
yes, I understand that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
township.
But it was changed years ago because of that reason. You could elect anybody, and that doesn't
We
necessarily
have
mean.
complacency here, and I'd like to
Well, that's
change
your
that.
opinion.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes, it is.
totally your opinion. Okay.
Is mainly, most of that for transparency, Lynn?
Yes,
Most all that is.
yes, and to break up the spousal relationships that we have over the finances.
Oh,
That's already broke up because she reports to the mayor. That position reports to the
they
mayor.
both report to me. But it's all for transparency, right?
Oh, that's one of the main reasons, yes.
And honesty. Correct?
Honest reporting, absolutely, yeah.
Any other new business? Council comments? I have a council comment, well, for me actually, not council, but when you're referring to transparency, transparency allows citizens to access information about government operations, decisions, and resource allocations. This openness fosters trust between the government and its constituents as it signals honesty and accountability. When citizens can verify government actions, they are more likely to believe that the officials are actually in their best interests, which enhances public confidence in government. Honesty, for a little bit. It refers to the practice of being truthful and transparent in all professional interactions. It encompasses openness, authenticity, and integrity, meaning that individuals communicate truthfully and uphold ethical standards in their work environment. Now, there's another little word you can hear once in a while. It's called non-disclosure. That kind of defines something as
Secret.
you don't tell your secret and I won't tell mine. Now, for more than 3.5 years, we've had a council person that has publicly complained and advocated for greater transparency and accountability in local government. Sometimes even a bit abusive. That stance has been welcomed by some residents who value open communication and integrity in public service. However, Councilman Sylvain is now engaged in legal action against the very town she was elected to serve, and has requested a non-disclosure agreement in connection with her lawsuit. That raises serious concerns to me. Requesting a non-disclosure agreement directly contradicts the transparency she promoted while in office. What is being kept from the public and why? If this is a legal matter and decisions made in her role as a council person or impact public funds, residents have every right to expect openness, not secrecy. I respectfully ask Councilman Sylvain to explain how this request for confidentiality aligns with their stated commitment to transparency and governance. Elected officials do not get to apply transparency selectively. It must exist even when it is personally inconvenient. You can't preach transparency and then demand secrecy when it suits your personal legal strategy. This is a double standard. The people of this town deserve to know what's happening, especially when their elected official is taking legal action against the community and trying to cover it behind a wall of confidentiality. please let us know why.
I love it. I haven't asked for a non-disclosure, so I don't know what he's talking about. So
Lynn,
I have asked for all of the invoices to be revealed. They haven't done that. I want you to know every detail about what's going on. I want you to know that he stopped me from having access to my property. I want you to know that he stole trees off my property. I want you to know she made a false police report against me while I was in a parking lot. I want you guys to know that. Please dig into it, look into it. Don't take the rhetoric that he just scribed there for his own purpose. Look into this. My behavior can stand up to anything that he can throw at the wall. So thank you, John. Thank you.
Please look into it, everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
and if you can still tell us why you want that non-disclosure agreement.
I don't want a non-disclosure.
That's what you
Seriously.
listed.
I don't want a non-disclosure. Share everything, please.
Item 7, is it not?
Understand why are we going to execute legal action against me but not Rachel, even though there's an ordinance to cover her? Why do we let Kevin Ullman have property, but mine is different? Why is that handled differently?
This lawsuit was a countersuit. You sued us first, and we had to countersue.
Right.
This wasn't us, the village, coming after you as a resident. This
I'm
was
trying to
you
make
coming after the
improvements to the
village.
property.
Thank you. Any other?
So
council
that's a
comments?
fantastic job, Johnny.
Any other council comments?
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
way to
Motion
go.
to adjourn.
I'll second.
Fantastic.
Have a vote, please.
Martha France? Yes. Rick Coles?
Yes.
Louise Easton?
Yes.
Jody Donskow?
Yes.
Rachel Smith? Yes. Lynn Surveyor?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Be careful who you vote for. All right.
We're gonna need you to state the alphabet backwards there, buddy.
Thank you all for coming.
I had thought that the lease had stated that the termination was on the.
Well, how are you doing?
Oh man, living the dream.